Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing this XL plunge saw kit, 1200 watt. I got it from toolsfortrade.co.uk, ordered it around lunchtime. It came the next day about 9:30 AM, pretty amazing. Cost $87 including postage, so I think that's a pretty good deal. Bought this thing to abuse it because I'm not really going to use it on wood. I'm going to use it on screed. There's a good reason for that, and when I actually do the job I'm going to post a video of that too, so you'll be able to check that out. So I tried looking on Marketplace for second-hand ones and kind of got nowhere because they were too expensive to do the job I need to use it for. So I decided on buying this thing as it was so cheap. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it up, we're going to give it a try, and we're going to see how it works. Pretty good bargain, I reckon. Well, actually it may not be a good bargain because it may be rubbish. But let's find out. Now it comes with two 700mm tracks for that price, and clamps, and hopefully a blade. I'm not actually sure. And I can't remember whether this thing is 240 volt or 110 volt, but we'll find out in a sec. So we got two clamps. They're not exactly quick release clamps. In fact, they would take ages to wind in and out, but they'll do the job for the price. So let's open them up. Now there's an Allen key there, and I'm pretty sure that will be to change the blade. Now these things would take a while to install because they're not quick release, but at least they're cheap. At least they're included in the box, so that's pretty good. Let's get rid of all this packaging. So there is the saw, 240 plug, and we have the rails. Now apparently these rails are the same as the Makita and Festool, which is pretty handy because if you need to buy longer ones, the Makita ones and the Festool ones are pretty readily available. These come with a joiner. I'm not personally a big fan of joining rails together because there's always a chance that they're not going to be dead straight and they could move, that kind of thing. So personally I've got a 3-meter track for my Festool, but for this application this will be fine. In fact, what I'm probably going to do when I do the job that I bought this for is actually just use one and keep the other one to use with my Festool. Actually, does it come with a blade? 24 teeth. Not the best, but not bad for the price. At least it comes with a blade for that price anyway. Okay. First thing I've noticed is this lead isn't very long. Probably 2 meters at the most. I'm going to try this thing out on a scrap of plywood. I won't need both of these bolted together because the piece I'm cutting isn't that big. Let's have a look around the saw first. So it looks like this plunge is the same way as the Festool TS55 and probably the Makita. I've never used the Makita, and yet it does. So push the release forward with your thumb, same as the Festool. Push down. To be honest, it feels pretty good. It really does. Let's check. It doesn't have a quick release on the depth set there, so we've got the angle adjustment there. There's one at the back as well. Yes, there is. That all looks pretty good. It all feels pretty good, to be honest. Let's hope that when it actually starts up, it doesn't sound like a bag of bolts. That'll be a bonus. It's got a couple of adjusters here to make it tighter on the rail, same as the Festool and the Makita. It's got a, now this thing, this goes forward for a blade lock. So if you push the saw down to reveal where you undo the blade, what you can do is you push this lever down at that point and it locks it in that position to allow you to open that up. Now there's another button here that you push forward to actually lock the blade in position. So you push that in and hold that there, and then you can get your Allen key on there and undo that to change the blade. Right. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to start it up first, just to see what it sounds like. Doesn't sound too bad. Now, I've got a piece of 12mm plywood. Now, one thing I've forgotten is that we need to drop the saw blade into this to trim this to size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that round. Let's just cut that off. Let's just make sure that's tight enough on the guide without being over tight. It feels pretty good. Now, I don't have my dust extractor at the moment, so we're going to give Henry a go. Let's see if we can turn Henry on and get it sucking. It fits. That's a bonus. Okay. Okay, two things. Firstly, I forgot to turn Henry on, but never mind. And the other thing is, I'm not sure if you noticed, but as I was pushing the saw through there, it actually started to get stuck. So I'm not sure if this guide is actually, I don't know, maybe it needs a bit of lubricant on it, or maybe it's not milled out quite exact. So I loosened off the little guide tighteners as I went, and it worked fine. So now, let's give it a proper go on this plywood. Okay, this time, let's not forget to turn Henry on. Oh dear. That didn't work very well at all. So if you check this out, that plywood's chipped up really badly. So, the guide hasn't done its job too well. Now, I'm looking at the guide now, and I can see why. Now this rubber edge, it's not flat, it's actually convex. So it's actually doing this. So at the point where the blade touches the wood, the rubber isn't touching the wood. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but that rubber's not flat. So if you buy this tool, firstly what I would recommend is that you pull this off and you buy a Makita or a Festool replacement rubber. Get rid of this rubber and use the Makita or Festool one, because this isn't going to do the job that it's supposed to in terms of giving you a nice clean edge after you've done a cut. That's no better actually than you would get if I didn't use a rubber edge on there. So that's my first thing. But apart from that, it feels a very good tool. It feels very good quality. For £87, it's very, very good, I think. And obviously, I've only used it for one cut, but it did the cut really well in terms of how the machine itself performed. But the end product wasn't very good for the simple reason that the plywood all chipped out. Now, as I say, get yourself a new rubber on there and I'm sure it would do the job much better. Probably a better blade as well, because 24 teeth isn't really enough to give you a really good cut. You probably need to go for a 40 tooth and that would give you a much better cut. Okay guys, so it's now tomorrow, but I just noticed last night when I put Henry away that this was stuck up his end, and I just wanted to say that it's actually quite a good addition to the saw because it's tapered, so it allows you the option of actually putting a different size nozzle for your dust extractor in there. So just a nice addition, I thought, to a very cheap saw. Hang on a minute, guys, I'm not going to leave it there, not on this channel. We want to get this thing sorted out and make sure that it does work properly. What are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you what I've done. I've put a new rubber on here, which I bought on eBay. A brand new 3 metre length of Makita replacement rubber off eBay, £7.99. And we fitted it, and I've put my Festool blade in there. So we can have a go at this and see if it actually does work well. Okay, let's try it. Haven't got the same piece of timber because I couldn't find it, and the reason I couldn't find it is because the garage is an absolute mess. That's why I'm out here as well. Got an old table I'm working on. Right, so let's just get it done. Let's see if it works. But no dust extraction, don't need it, we're outside. Let's just try it. Let's have a look. Now, I don't know if you could see that, but that is a really nice cut. That's as good as my Festool any day. Might be a bit noisier maybe, I don't know. But I gotta tell you one thing, for the money I paid for that saw, that's a good cut. I think you'd have to agree. Very nice. Okay guys, thanks for watching this one. Hopefully it was useful to you. Hopefully you've decided whether you want to buy this cheap saw or not. Who knows, it's up to you. But I reckon it's pretty good. I think it's worth it, especially for the money. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.